Okay, coming up on the board, I am looking at a learning target for the video that we watched last week, or maybe today or over the weekend. But however, the learning target is to understand the properties that describe solutions in the terms of concentrations, solute, and solvent. Now, our success criteria for that video is going to be to analyze solubility curves. So we're going to look at a solubility curve and learn how to determine certain properties. Also, to define unsaturated, saturated, and supersaturated. So, here is the very first thing that we are going to talk about. And if you remember, when we talk about solubility, we need to have three things. Okay? We need to have the amount of the solute that can be dissolved in the amount of the solvent, and also what temperature it is at. So we need those three things, because remember, based on the video you watched, it was the effects of temperature and pressure on solubility. So we need to have that temperature. So this problem states a 25.0 grams of a solid compound is dissolved in 50 grams of water at 50 degrees Celsius to form a saturated solution. Identify the compound. So I am going to come over to this solubility table right here. And I'm going to notice that at the bottom, I have temperature in degrees Celsius. On the on the left-hand side, I have grams of solute per 100 milligrams of, 100 grams of water. So, this is based on 100 grams of water. Now, I go back and I say, okay, I only have 50 grams of water, don't I? Well, my chart is based on 100 grams, correct? So I'm going to double that. So 100 grams of water at 50 degrees Celsius. Well, if I doubled that 100 grams, I also need to double that. So it is going to be what? 50 grams. So, I know, because I did all that because my chart's based on 100 grams. I come back to my chart. Here's my 50 degrees Celsius. Okay? So I'm going to come up, and we stated it was what? $100 grams? Actually, no, it was 50 grams, wasn't it? I was going, what? Why is this not working out? Okay? Because it was 50 grams. So right there is my 50 grams per 100 at 50 degrees Celsius. So what do I have here? NH4Cl, ammonium chloride. So I don't know if I don't think I can click that, but that is going to be, identify the the compound. NH4Cl is my compound. I just read my chart and I varied based on my chart. Here's another one. A 24 grams of a solid compound dissolves in 25 grams of water at 30 degrees Celsius to form a saturated solution. Identify the compound. Well, once again, my chart is based on 100. And I have how much? 25. So how am I going to get 25 to 100? Multiply by 4. So to get 100 grams of water, I multiplied by 4. So I'm going to have to multiply that 24 also by 4. So 24 times 4 is going to give me 96.0 grams. And what was my temperature? 30 degrees Celsius, correct? So once again, I'm going to have to go to my chart, and I'm going to have to find what is 96 grams at 100 grams of water, 30 degrees Celsius. So I come to my chart here. 30 degrees Celsius. 96. It's going to put me about right here. So what's that going to be? NaNO3, sodium nitrate. So my answer here is, that is NaNO3. Nice and easy, right? Now here is the last one that I'm going to do. And it says, if I have 23 grams of KNO3, potassium nitrate, dissolved in 50 grams of water at 50 degrees Celsius, is the solution unsaturated, saturated, or supersaturated? So we have to go on and remember, okay, if it's unsaturated, it can hold more solute. If it is saturated, that's at the maximum amount. If it is supersaturated, it's holding more solute than it should be able to at that temperature. So remember our definitions of those. Now, once again, we're dealing with 50 grams of water. So to get that at 100, I have to double it. So I know my 100 grams of water, I've doubled. So 23 is going to give me 46 grams of KNO3. And we are at 50 degrees Celsius. So I come back, I see 50 degrees Celsius. I stated that it was 46 per 100. So I come up here, 46 somewhere about right in there, correct? Now, what do I need to do? Well, right here is my KNO3, right? So at 50 degrees Celsius, I can hold 80 grams of solute. I only had, what, 46? I only had 46 grams, right? So, based on knowing that I could have 80, let's see, I can get 34 more grams dissolved in that 100 grams of water, right? So I can get more of the solute in there. So is this saturated, unsaturated, supersaturated? Unsaturated. Okay? That would be an unsaturated solution. Okay? That's all it is. That's all it is to interpreting a solubility chart. All right? So hopefully we'll be able to do that. Your WebAssign 8.7, that is exactly what you'll be dealing with, interpreting charts. And those charts, I believe this is the exact chart that I got off of WebAssign.